Hi, my name is Abiola Dragbini, and I'd like to welcome you to my podcast.
Today I have quite a very kind of important content, but trust me, I'm not boring. So we're going to make fun. We're going to make fun out of the important stuff, right? But with the advent or what with the what's the word now? I have issues with forgetting what. Anyways, with the trend that we have, toxic work environment in the Twitter space and whatnot. We thought to ourselves, and I say we because we're a team now, a team of podcast, STAAR podcast. We thought to ourselves and said, what if we actually address this and provide a solution of what to do when looking for a job? Because at one point, even if you want to be self-employed or whatnot, you're going to have to relate with people, and we're bringing quality content to you, right? And there's a new thing that I'm trying, which is dramatic pauses. So if you see me just pausing, like Barack Obama, I'm trying to sound smart. Anyways, I have really amazing people here. I'd like for them to introduce themselves and we'll get into it. Should we do the classic ladies first, or we should do ladies first? Ladies first, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Abigail. Okay. And you're welcome to the Shaking Tables podcast with Adora.
No, it's not the Shaking Tables podcast with Adora. It started off as the Shaking Tables podcast with Adora, but at this point it has become the Shaking Tables podcast. Right, so who is Abigail? What does Abigail do?
Okay, so my name is Abigail again, and I do a lot of things. Like I like to write.
Okay.
And I like to be on Instagram basically. So I'm looking at trying out several things like social media marketing, content, like all the whole digital thing you get.
Okay, I think that pretty much makes sense. Much makes sense. So our guy here.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Dayo Awolaja.
You can see the way he handles the mic. You know he's a public speaker.
Adra, stop. Adra, don't do that. All right, great. My name is Dayo Awolaja, and I am a learning and development HR person. I'm a career advisor. The list is long. I'm a founder as well, an entrepreneur, so that I can sell myself well in case of people listening. And so what I do and I'm focused on is I want to help solve learning deficiencies, in many young professionals, students, and also help very many people get their desired jobs. So that's my focus, and that's what I do for a living.
Okay, I think I should put this out there that myself and Dayo, we're going to have a long conversation after this because I'm looking for project design work. Your one is product design?
No, not product design.
Okay, don't worry. They say a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So if you're watching, with that put in mind, right, you should understand that we have really amazing stuff planned out for you. If this is your first time listening, I feel if this has not convinced you enough to see this through, I don't know what might or what will, right? Okay, let's get into it. I want to start with the funny story of how I met these amazing people, right? I met Abigail in a club.
It's not
Technically, okay, what would you call a lounge? Okay, I think a lounge. Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, I have to my mic. So
I met you in a lounge.
In a lounge, no more. Don't say a club. A club is different from a lounge.
Okay. I feel like a club is more dramatic. Like people, if you say lounge, I like the drama. So I met Abigail in a club, right? And what happened was pretty simple. It was a very random day. I was with one of my guys, and she's like, I don't know, I said nothing. I just come. So she wanted to come host a club. Basically, the club is the Consequences Club in Lagos. It was like they want to launch it, and she was the host, and I happened to know her. And at the time, I'm in the OAP space. So I just came to her seat and I met her, and she was just coming from work. She came to do Thank God It's Friday, to just chill. And it really was. I never knew that we're even going to become this close, but we thank God for life. It happened, right? As for Dayo, I met Dayo in school. I was coming in 100 level there. I was living in 400 level. And funny story, Dayo had this orange pants that I used to wear.
Holy God of Nazareth! Don't do this.
He had that. It was just a standout pants. Like I see that pants. Okay, you don't know this, but you inspired me I used to dress corporate. I like dressing corporate, and for all through my 200 level or 300 level, one of the two, I I was on corporate everywhere I went, and it was just inspiring for me that okay, this person, I saw what this person was doing. That was always on corporate. He was on funny level with the bag. You know, this person, you know what he's doing in his life. I mean, I'm trying to figure out my own life. So I'm like,
why the orange? Why did you sneak in the orange part? Why?
It was. I mean, I'm not going to lie. But that was how I met Dayo, and we've had several conversations. You know, from then podcasting to what I want to do in my life to how can we try to right now looking for product design work. So it's a continuous process. You understand?
Adira, when you make the money now,
obviously
I shall be here.
Definitely. Normal. I'm not the kind of person that I leave home to feed home. Right? But that said, I want to get into the conversation, which is the ethics in Nigerian corporate space. Right? We say Nigerian because I know that this podcast, as much as it is global, right? We live in Nigeria, currently in Lagos, Nigeria, and we can only talk about what we know for a fact. Right? I could give you many what ifs and maybes, but I wouldn't want to put you in a situation that I'm guessing these things. I want to tell you the thing that facts. We have history telling us that we already have the facts to follow, so we're not lying. We're giving you genuine facts. Okay. Now, to start with, I personally feel like this country have a long list of horrible customer care experience. Like people that are supposed to be caregivers in their careers are not. I'll give the typical example of nurses. Has a nurse ever been mean to you? A nurse has not been mean to you before. You have not experienced it before? Is that story that we want to hear?
That happened. Nurses. My brother. Almost if you enter inside hospital like this, you go to say that the old nurse be the doctor. Because automatically now them they always like
they're the one that will attend to you.
You feel me? And then they are the ones that when they attend to you, there's a level of authority.
They come from the mother figure that they say, okay, off your trouser, your hands outside, I'll took injection, off your trouser.
See, let me tell you, funny story, right? It's about 3 weeks ago, I was ill and I had to go to the hospital. I had to take this my ring and I had to put it in this place so that the nurse can still respect me. But upon she still said, take off your trouser, you're wasting my time.
I mean, I have an aunt that's a nurse, so I would know. I'm just saying that, I understand how it is. And I'm like, so what do we do when the core point of an organization that's supposed to have human feelings, that's supposed to respect my complaint, still be rude at me? I've had so many times in which I've called, say, some telecommunication customer care service and they're being rude. There was a time that was about last month, 2 months ago, I made a transfer from my account to my I'm giving this for PR. Anyways, I made a transfer from my one bank account of mine to the other, and it wasn't like a hefty sum, but it was a hefty sum to me at the time because bro, things tight. But anyways, I made the transfer and I was being reasonable. I was like, okay, maybe the money did not require. I gave them the weekend, then I gave them the following week. At this point, it was already 2 weeks. I was not like, what do I do? I called customer care. They wasted my time and my airtime. 500 naira gone, no solution. I tweeted at them. They have a weak social media presence. These are very multinationals. I tweeted at them. I sent them. I went to their Instagram caption. That was when I now saw that. Bro, people are complaining. Their Instagram comments. People are even losing money on a steady, and they don't respond. So what I did was, I eventually went to the bank, and I realized that this was the worst mistake of my life. What I queued for, it was a simple problem. Send a mail to these people. They let them revert it. Finish. They carried me to this place. They went to this place. After I still went to their website. I lodged a complaint. I escalated. Nothing was done. It got to a point in which I was like, you know what? I'm tired. You can keep the money. And again, this one is more than NYC money. So it should give you context. Yes, you understand. If you don't know what NYC money is, you can Google it. So at the time, I was so frustrated because I was down. I was now begging to and I had this money. So in my mind, I'm like, you people that are supposed to be empathetic to me, you're telling me that much is your money safe. I'm like, bros, you giving money? Do you understand? So at this point, it's a core problem. I could keep going on and on about people from several walks of life. We have local government people, NYC people. You understand? You should know what I'm talking about. All those local government women. In fact, don't let me. Or you want to talk about eateries, people that are supposed to serve you food, and you are giving me attitude. Give me that cover you. Now, after giving context, all of these things, that begs the question: do people actually go through some sort of training before they get to the job, or you just say that okay, I'm good at talking, I have a podcast, I can be customer care, or I know how to, I went to nursing school, so that means inevitably you don't need to go through training for how to deal with people, right? And this is where that comes in. But do we have set up structures that are supposed to ease people into the workspace?
Good question, really, but because in terms of, and I'm going to tell my own story as well. Very many organizations, private organizations, do their very best, and I must really commend them. They do their very best to train customer service representatives, to train people that they have. These roles are customer facing roles. You understand? They call them customer facing roles, where you have to interact with people, where you have to. What you will not find, Adura, is government parastatals attending to you like you are king of. As a matter of fact, if you are, even if they know that you are popular and you are all that, did you see the recent thing that trended? The customs guy that slapped one secretary to the governor, permanent secretary to the Delta State governor.
I didn't see.
It happened on Twitter. That thing trended, and then right in front of it, he slapped. What are you? You understand? Like, what are you? So that's the example. That's the typical example of what you're talking about. Even if you don't know that, even if he's nobody, why do you slap him? And then there was a military guy there standing, telling him, giving him morale. That one didn't just do anything, because of course they are well trained. So that's the bit where many of these government parastatals, you do not expect them to typically train there. They do, some of them do, at least I know that local state government does. But private institutions, now let us focus on them. And back to your own experience, they train them. But there's something that they call, that attitude is like films.
Okay.
No matter how you try to train somebody to be better, they might probably still have that habit. So some of this, which is why they always say that, are you culture fit for any organization? Are you actually culture fit? Because if we bring you in, if we train you, can the attitude that's your Igbo attitude or your Yoruba attitude or the Hausa, can hope it will not see through our training and still come and show face. You understand? So that's the problem. The problem actually is with people's attitude and the system and structure. And this is my story that I'm going to tell, and I'm going to drag these people here. I dragged them before on Twitter. I'll drag them here. They attended to me. I'll still drag them. So I moved into a new place recently. I told you, NEPA, this IKE year, what they call themselves, Ikeja Electric. Those guys, run from them. They brought me a prepaid. The prepaid meter was there before I came. It was new. Nobody had used it. The previous guy moved out without using it. So I moved there was no lights. Week one, landlord, how far now? I don't get lights. So no problem. They will attend to you. After the first week, go to their office, complain, blah blah blah. I know I
necessarily bear in mind that you have your own day, you have your where you are supposed to be.
So I know that was also telling the landlord, I have to go to work, or is it because you always see me at home? You think I'm a relaxed tech bro? I'm just sitting home, nothing. So I called them up first time, customer service guy. Okay, you know what? We're going to do something about it. It's a technical issue. We're going to have our technical guys come there in the next 72 hours. That was on Monday. Okay, 72 hours. Tuesday, 72 hours. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I didn't see these guys. It was funny. Okay, I moved on. The next week, I called on Monday again and I asked them, so what's up now? I've been waiting for you guys. That was the second time I called them. Don't worry, we are lodging the complaint right now. We're sending an email to them right now. In the next 24 hours, you'll see them. 24 hours came, my brother, not seen. I waited, long story short, I waited 1 month, one whole month without light, in complete darkness. It was when I went to their office and I just decided that today I will show it for you people. And so I went there, pardon my French. I went there and then I saw the customer service. Apparently it was a Friday. They closed by 1 p.m. on Friday, but I got there around 3 p.m. I had no idea. So I went there and I thought they were like all of us that were doing 9 to 5. And so I went there and I sat down and I said, one guy sat there, one bearded guy, fine boy, I wouldn't even lie. Sat down, a fresh boy, other two ladies and one other guy in the middle. say, bros, what do you want? I'm a customer. I want to come and lodge. No, we are closed for the day. I've been here before, twice before. I just want to say that this is the company I lodged and I want you people to follow up. Just to remind my brother, these people know he gave me out. They wanted to bounce me out. They're like, you need to go out, you need to step out. Call security your customer. I was shocked. Then I was just still very calm until I started speaking. There's a level of English that I speak in this Nigeria that you know that this one is a renowned person. No, I'm serious. And so I started speaking good in all of this. Just I standing up one by one. Just went upstairs. It was very appalling, and then the manager had to come downstairs. And this is the example of what you're saying. It was a bad experience for me because not until I had to vent, get angry before I was attended to. And so you would see that the system, right, the structure is not only from the people that are facing you, attending to you, it's also from the organization in the way that they actually promote. Sometimes a product won't work, and you put it out there, and you put people to attend to people to a product that does not work.
It makes no sense.
So, I hope that answers your question and sums it up really.
Yes, it does. Because you mentioned something, I would like to go from there. Like, as much as we have settings that organizations might actually put in place, that does not remove from the fact that you actually have to be a good human being. Like, I understand that it's hard. Before we get into certain organizations, we are people first, and as such, we have our background stories, we have whatever has shaped us. But I think what counts is that effort to be better, because I see no reason why university lecturers is telling me that I will fail this course because of what? I did not come to 7 a.m. class. I don't even want to go into that. I don't even want to go into that, because I'm like, and then I think to myself, don't these people have children? Because I'm like, whenever I see bosses that are very vile or violent or abusive, because we are going to get to that, we're heard of abusive bosses. Right? Whenever I see people or older superiors basically being very verbal, I feel like these people don't have a child that pushes them back in their house. Like, they have small children that they can easily command, so they feel like they can come to the office and exert that same force. Because I feel it will take a level of relatability when you have a 20-something-year-old in your house and you're telling him to go, and it's like, don't shame daddy, you come and tell me that I'm not your child. Now, even your son is telling that means what's wrong with you, daddy. Your son is telling you what's wrong with you, that you're nothing, that I don't have blood at any time, that I will not tell you that where your head is not paining you, right? So putting all of this in context, I feel like whether or not dramatic pause, whether or not there's organizational structures, that should not remove from the fact that we should strive to be better, right? As a people, as individuals, as whatever thing that we are, we should try and strive to become better. All right, so there I was mentioning about red flags. Welcome back. I was mentioning about red flags, and that got me thinking. In the last episode, we talked about certain relationship red flags, and as much as we want to be trendy as young people, you cannot just live in social media forever. You actually need to wake up to real life, and in real life means that you need to have a job, you need to have work that you're doing, even if it's baby girl lifestyle that you want to be living. You have to buy stuff and you need to make money, right? And this podcast is a mix of helping you grow as well as making you smile. So that I was talking about red flags. I'd like for him to continue.
Okay, great. So just as I said, you realize that one thing you mentioned, Abigail, that you realize that your supervisor made a particular advance. That one is the first thing. You understand? So the same way they are going to give you a query, right? When you do something that is against company rules, it's the same way you are going to give yourself a query about our workplace. Yeah, you can.
Okay, so about rules. If a company doesn't have rules and regulations, that's a red flag.
One.
And then when they tell you, okay, we are employing you, you can start next week, but they don't give you a proper documentation of your job description, that's another red flag.
Okay. I think that table shook to my side. Small.
That's no shake. They just say, okay, now WhatsApp message.
Not be WhatsApp message now. let's not go into it. But
Because big points, big points I've mentioned, or you realize that, and this is the third one, or you realize that in your offer letter is just very scanty, just one pager. And if you are
Run,
not
no.
offer letter, no, don't do it. So yesterday, what people typically do is they run their offer letter by me, and so they'll ask me, what do you think? In this place, they put it there that termination, we can terminate you anytime.
wow.
And if you want to leave, you have to give us 1 month notice, even during your probationary period. And during probationary period, when you can leave, your exit period, your notice period is always shorter than when you're a full staff, right? It could be like 2 weeks. And so for them, they now said payment in lieu of notice. If we terminate your employment, we are not going to pay in lieu of notice. I'm like, that's a red flag. Why? Because what they are trying to tell you is that they can terminate your employment anytime and nothing is going to happen, which is supposed to be that if they are going to terminate your employment, they tell you 1 month before that, my dear, we don't want you to work with us again. So for the next 1 month, be planning and do handover. Or the employer, you and the employer, you have a counter. You guys do not like to see your face again. You don't say, I want you to leave today. It means that they are owing you 1 month salary. They'll pay you for the month that you're leaving, and you pay for the month that is coming. That is payment in lieu. If no employer has that written in the offer letter, just run. You go say work, but run from that one. Okay? Another thing that you realize is when an employer typically raises his voice at you or begins to use foul language with you. This is how it will start. What's that bullshit? Pardon my French. Don't pardon their French. It will happen and happen again. You understand? So you are frustrating me, run. Like if it begins to happen again and again, and you ask a very, very, very important point that what can you do, right? Sometimes you can have a mentor outside the organization. You can sometimes talk to somebody that you think that is the CEO's friend or the CEO's acquaintance, colleague, or somebody that's really close. So you just speak to them that this is what I'm going through. I don't know if you can help me talk to the CEO in this way, because it's going to end in two things, Adura. You are either going to live in peace and have peace of mind, or they are going to force you to leave. You'd either leave or they fire you. In my case, Adura, I already wrote my 2 weeks resignation letter that the day I was going to tender it, one boy that God will just bless him wherever he is. I don't want to say any other thing. That guy left that same day. I just thought about it. As this one don't come out like this, it means I'm going to drop my own. Like I just chill. 2 weeks later, I was gone. That you please tender your resignation letter, blah blah blah, with immediate effect. Yeah, I was paid in lieu, but by the time you see all this, when they begin to raise their voices at you, they begin to tell you that you're not good enough. I don't even see what you're doing. I don't see the impact. Which impact are you making? Are you adding to this organization, my brother? It's not your place.
Also, I'd like to also say something, and I'm saying this so personally. So, permit me to be very for a second. But I feel like we that were just breaking into the labor market, we are very skeptical about leaving our old jobs and getting a new one, or even getting a new one. What if I don't get another job? What am I going to be doing with my life now? And honestly, I've not found the answer to that. I'm not even going to lie. Yeah, please.
I don't have an answer. Tech is a unifier. I told you today earlier on, tech is a unifier. You will always get the same way you got this job. You're really going to get another job. See, this is the thing. You're going to wait 3 months. You're going to wait maybe 4 months, but you're going to get almost the same job in a better organization. And this is coming from somebody who I've interacted with over 1,500 people looking for jobs. Like they come to me that I need a job. I write their CVs for them. I send them job vacancies. In the next 1 month, next 2 months, they get a job. If that's the only thing you are scared about, man, it means that you never take risks. Take the risk if it's a bad environment. Because here's the gist, Adura. The harm it will do to you, your personality, and your person, it will take time to heal from it than it will take time for you to look for a job. Do you understand? Did you catch that? So what I mean is that, so for example, like Abigail shared with us that, and I think she's still going to mention it. So if you go 3 months, 6 months, 1 year in an environment where someone is telling you are not good enough, it will affect your self-esteem. You can spend, my colleague spends 1 year with a mental health person trying to deal with it. So you're going to spend more time trying to deal with the fact that you're actually good enough than you're going to spend with him. That's just my brother. Learn a tech skill.
Okay. So while what you're feeling is valid, I think the best thing you can do is take action, and we all can also try that. Okay. Please, if this has been making sense to you at any point, please kindly take a screenshot and share on your social media platform, share with friends on your Instagram story, create a what? Fuck now. If you want to create a video about how the podcast is helping you, share on your social media platform, your WhatsApp, Instagram, your Twitter timeline, just stuff to help other people. I think a lot of people need to hear this podcast, and maybe because of the serious, people want to be hearing sexy every time. No, think about your life. Think about yourself, right? All right, okay. No seriousness, right? I feel like Daya has done enough justice, as well as Abigail, and we're just rounding up. There's just a few things I also want to say as well, right? If you're listening to us on the other end of the conversation and you've had any story as regards terrible bosses, we'd like to hear it, and how you dealt with it, how you moved forward. I would really like to hear it. You can send us a mail at shakingtableswithaa@gmail.com, or you can just send a voice message or a message on our Instagram to shakingtableswithaa, or our Twitter at STAAR Podcast. I'm really optimistic to these responses. Right now, the last gist of the day. I'm done covering them. Flutterwave, right? I can no longer can.
This is the Shaking Tables podcast,
right? And now this begs the question of dramatic pause. Must all business moguls do something shady in their startup days? Because you start to hear certain things that these people are doing, that you look at them as multinational, as big firm. And you hear that this person had to, fake personalities. He had to do this. He had to do that. And before I talk, Abigail, give up the cutaway gist, and I'll fight it today.
Lord of Jesus.
Because there's a personal thing that we're supposed to do. But oh yeah, Abigail, what happened in the cutaway gist?
Honestly, Adura, I did not finish the flutterway gist, but I got to a very, very, very interesting part. The flutterwave boss, right, was actually working for a bank.
Okay.
As I think he was one of those big bosses there. Yes, head of stuff. And then he went ahead to open Flutterwave, to start up Flutterwave, I think. And then why are you looking at me like
go on now? Go on.
I don't make it.
Okay, so yeah, this is the gist. This is actually the gist. We have a STAAR team where everybody is bringing their own uniqueness to helping the podcast grow, right? And as such, we just try to assign stuff to each and every one of us to try. So and I said, okay, that was when the gist came out. I was like, Abigail, help us to read up on this thing. You explained to us, and she didn't even know that I was going to bring it up on the podcast. So actually, in all sincerity, I saw that article, and it was long. It was so long, and I was like, okay, let somebody do it and explain to us. And before, I think, so that's why I'm getting somehow. But okay, anyway, let me give the gist. Someone that didn't give me the gist, so I will help you out a bit. Long and short of the story, the guy was a regional head or something at one of the very popular major banks in Nigeria when Flutterwave was birthed, and every once in a while he would come onto the meeting impersonating another person, using voice switchers, and it gets to a point in which it would then take Flutterwave's gist so personal that people will start to assume that now your company, in forgetting that there's already another puppet that he had put as the head, which was technically not the head. He was just trying to shield himself and not, bleed his company into his new startup. And the gist just went on, and it was just all points of wrong. And now this makes me question every multinational out there, every big person out there. Is there a shady, some Tommy Shelby type black deal that you have to make with the demon to then blow? Is it a necessary evil? Is there a necessary price that we have to pay? And this is where that comes in, right? As a founder, how do you deal with people saying, for example, someone that told you to write the what is it called, the letter that they put all of these clause, and as for Funaba, they will understand this MOU period. There were certain things in certain MOUs saying that if I run with your money, you will not know. But because of, we all know that who reads terms and conditions these days? Let's not lie, let's not steal. If God is going to judge people by terms and conditions as lying or not, because nobody reads terms and conditions, and this is what HR guys take advantage of. So please.
Well, Adora, you've asked a very big question. It's a solid big question. It's from a business perspective. I must say I like the way you think. Yeah, it's just right. When you're starting a company, you need lots of funds, and from a business perspective, if you're starting a company and you need investors like much later in the business, maybe you want to raise seed round or all of those things, you must be able to bootstrap. And what that means is that you must be able to raise your personal cash. My brother, you need to raise cash. We're is it okay to mention it? That we're building Covative, man, and sometimes in a month, all the money that we make from the other business, sometimes to the tune of $500,000, like we literally like put it into Covative to pay software developers to build the product. Now, everybody and many founders, they are looking for an easy way out. When I'm starting out, let me look for easy money, clean money, easy money that is still clean money. However, they call it insider trading. It is not professional, but it's just in a bit to look for money. So it's not in any way professional. Here's what founders can do better, in my own opinion, because I think that solutions are much better than if you rant about the problem. Yeah. Now, if you realize that you want to start a company, like give yourself time. If you want to start any career, anything
that is supposed to work.
You were telling us today about how this mic and all this setup came by and this thing that is still pretty here. Give it time, like 1 year, 2 years. Have a goal to save this much, to invest this much. Don't go and invest in crypto if you like.
You will bleed.
So give it time. Save up. It's not good practice. And you see many of these things happen in different companies. Yeah, it's happened to me. So I was going to join a fintech company just about the time Flutterwave happened as well. Of course, I'm not mentioning the name of the company. They are going to be really popular in the next maybe 1 year. And then I realized that it's a fintech, crypto as well. And I see how what you are telling the government you are actually doing. But what you are doing is different. And we know these things. And so, I had to, at the time, they too did not even align with my own goals and this thing, because apparently, I guess I came off as too strict. But it's important that you follow due process. If you follow due process, my brother, it will take you longer time, but you will land. Here's the gist. You need people on the way to influence your brand. The way, we are all working on our careers, right? We need somebody to recommend me to a better job. You need people that would influence you. If you don't pay the this or pay the that, and in the case of Flutterwave, he's a powerful man. Why? Because he knows people that can change things. He's the boss to your lawyer.
Makes sense.
You understand? So they can change stuff. It's deeply rooted in the way we run the Nigerian system. It's deeply rooted in the way we run government. It's deeply rooted in the way we do business.
It feels like Gotham City all over again.
So it's a Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Yeah, right. Because that's the way. It's almost becoming like a culture, and we need to stop it.
So consider this with the point of, or with the angle of the perspective of, in the next decade, in the next couple of decades, you are going to be the next person, right? How would you handle some of these things? Because I'm really curious as to, looking back to this podcast personally. I consider all forms of my personal content as a documentary. I want to look back at it and say, I was at this point in my life when I talked about this, and I really want to appreciate my growth. So if you want to look at it the next decade, the next 2 decades, this is where you're going to be. This is what you're going to be doing. Do you want to be the terrible people that you complain of now, or you want to take the long process? Because like I said earlier on, certain things, certain micro interactions, they call it a Figma. Micro interactions, like if you want to, basically it's animations in Figma. It's small things that you do that will make up the big movement. But there's certain micro interactions that you would need to do to make the final product look aesthetically pleasing to the user. And these are the things that I think many founders want to, not even founders, people ignore as a community. And I feel like maybe this podcast is going to awake your consciousness to wanting to be okay. You want to do this, and okay, typically you would just do it without thinking. Let this podcast make you up and say, okay, no, let me try to be a better person. Try, because I see that. Okay, one thing I didn't like about Dayo's content, I'm not going to lie. He doesn't know this, but that time when I first met Dayo, there was, when somebody knows what's in his life, career, HR. I was like, oh God of mercy. He's like, write your goal. I'm like, Amy, what am I writing? What goal do I have? What do I know? Right? But it was like I was like, maybe I was going to get a point in my life and I'm going to catch Tarema and say, yes, I've gotten it. But one thing that I realized was you need to start to break stuff into tiny chunks, right? You want to have bastard money. You want to have 100,000 naira next year. Imagine 100,000 equals the same thing as 1,000 naira in 100 places. Now, putting that in perspective, 1,000 naira might not be too much as opposed to 100,000. So if you are getting 3,000 today or 3,000 a week, imagine saving 1,000 every week. For 100 weeks, you have 100,000. So imagine 100 weeks is like 2 years. Now, the point of this is to tell you that everything is possible. No, I personally believe that nothing. There's not. If I want to get something in life, I feel like it's just about setting priority, breaking it down into small chunks, and seeing yourself and thinking yourself as though you're already there. I'm not telling you to aspire to but I'm just telling you facts, bro. Right? And like this baby here. I'm going to look back one day and tell the story about the story of my little PC. Or get to it at one point, right? But this thing took the life out of me. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. But again, please let us try to be better. We're rounding up already. I just want to mention one or two things. One in which the podcast has a sponsor, right? Today's episode, if you notice, we're talking about business and work culture and whatnot. And today's podcast is brought to you by Pay. Yeah, they allow us to use their space. And it's been an amazing journey so far. Basically, what Pay does is they provide financial services as almost as basic as POS, right? Now, there's so much more that goes into this, right? Okay, you could have your POS. We could help you as a microfinance bank, white label. Yeah, okay, you want to offer POS services, but you want it to be your own brand. We could help you with that. Yeah, we're just going to use our technology, but it's going to be tailored to your brand as a this person bank, as an Olamide bank, as a prime bank, whatever bank you want to use. And these are the services that provide. You can check out our socials at Pay everywhere. Basically, just type Pay on Google. You're going to see it. I'm optimistic as to so that you can patronize them and the podcast can keep going. Let the podcast stay afloat. Also, remember that this podcast is about you. If you don't listen to this podcast, there's nothing that we can do. So we want to help. We want to help with the community. You want to, if you have birthday shout out, you want to declare your love to your secret admirer. You want to help out, to reach out to somebody, just to grow as a people. Reach out to us at shakingtableswithaa@gmail.com or send us a mail. We're optimistic to that. With that said, one last thing. This is the scenario segment. Again, it's a community. You want to hear what you are thinking and what you are feeling. It's not enough to just drop a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or drop a review. We want to know how you think and want to understand whether we are making an impact in you. And this is where the scenario segment comes in. Have you ever been bullied? Have you had sexual advancement before? Or we've heard stories of Abigail, we've heard stories from Dayo. But on the other end of this conversation, have you ever been bullied? Or have you ever been the bully? Right? This stems off from boarding school, or this stems off from so many things, right? But have you ever been bullied, or have you ever been the bully? It's a safe space. We could help you talk about whatever you want, whatever you think that okay, you faulted at, and we could help you grow. Basically, again, I'm really happy that we could have this conversation myself and Dayo as well. I'm looking forward to that product designer deal. I'm saying this now so that I can look back and say, yes, I got it. You understand? So, but yeah, thank you very much for having this conversation with us. Even we almost didn't have it. I'm telling you, for this to happen, it took a lot. It took a lot of things. This is like the second time or third time that Dayo was. I got about like I'm not going to message Dayo. Somebody on the team should go and message Dayo because it was a lot. But wonderful Abigail. Thank you very much for coming through. I'm hoping something productive comes out of this. If you're listening to, thank you very much for watching, staying this far, listening this far. We bless you. We bless your holy name. And when you say, I know. I'm playing. It's anything like a church sermon ending. But yeah, thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week at whatever point you're listening to it from. And please remember to share the podcast with whoever you see. Enter Uber, play the podcast to Uber driver. Enter, you're in your friend's car. If you want to subtly throw jabs at them, instead of saying that, bro, your character is good at workplace, just play this thing. Okay, you understand? Just to your boss that sir. That when you are going home, we used to have bosses that we used to clinch you because they're after and they're going in your direction. So let me connect to this. There's this podcast that I'm listening to. I don't know, they just dropped a new episode. I like to hear it. And
if you do that thing,
no. See, let me tell you something. One of two things can happen. Either you lose your job or keep your job. If you lose your job, it means that it's a bad organization. It's a bad organization.
Exactly.
If you keep your job, that means you have made significant change.
And again, if you lose your job, it's actually an opportunity to go into the tech space. You get
so risk it. Is there a risk I'm willing to take? Hell no. But risk it. I'm joking. But thank you very much. If there's, how do we reach you? Your social media. If we need HR services, how can we get across to you? And
okay, so Dio Productive across socials. On Twitter, it's Dio_productive. But more importantly, is I don't push my own brand again. I push my company's brand. So DP Careers. Okay. Yeah, DP Careers is the one you can follow across all platforms, Instagram and Twitter, basically. All right,
Abigail, how do we get to know you?
Okay, so let's
let us declare things into existence. So who would you like to work with? Is it Flutter with that I've just bashed? Or
forget it.
you can never tell. The internet is a sensational place. You may not necessarily have name, but look at the space and say, yes, I want to enter this space. And that's what I'm going to. So that we can quote this thing and say, yeah, I got it.
I'm looking to go into radio broadcasting. Like, I've always wanted to do that. That was one reason I actually studied mass communication. So I am looking to be a radio presenter.
But it doesn't remove from the fact that if you need another day job, you can, you can follow your passion as well as
if you also want a voiceover artist, I'm here. I learned it. So
interesting.
Yeah. If you want a voiceover,
I like that. We're going to work on some things together. Anyway, thank you very much. My name is Abiola Dragin once again, podcaster, social media expert, and a product designer. How I combine those three, I almost die every day, but I'm still alive. So, anyways, thank you very much for sticking around. And goodbyes are always hard. To be very honest, goodbyes are hard, but it's been a long way with you, my friend. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful one. God bless. And remember, you are a star. Don't stop shining.